Today, I want to speak to your hearing about overcoming familiar spirits. This book right here has been reaching individuals all across the world, and this right here is one of the book reviews that I want to be able to share on this channel to be able to help encourage you to go and get a copy of this book. This is worth the money right here. So I'm gonna start on the back before I go and kind of go give a quick little overview of it. It said, "Have you unknowingly invited demonic enemies into your life?" It said, "Many Christians are being tormented by unseen demonic powers called familiar spirits that operate inconspicuously with the fabric of people's thoughts, emotions, and mindsets, working so secretly that they usually remain undetected." Y'all heard about that word, familiar spirits? I know you have. You're a person that have tapped into the Bible, the scriptures. These demonic spirits can be attached to people, individuals, families, or bloodlines. This book is very, very, very important. I mean, I up until this point, I have not read a book that have went into the depth of these different topics, which I'm about to speak on here real soon. Familiar spirits hinder believers' lives in numerous ways, diminishing their spiritual vision and seeking to prevent them from fulfilling their destinies. They may block people's ability to overcome negative patterns, attain lasting success, and even marry and conceive children. Don't you think that's very important that you get you a copy of this book right here? Without realizing it, we can invite such unseen enemies into our lives. We may have left open the door to their influence due to personal trauma, unforgiveness, bitterness, false thinking. Then we may become trapped into a spiritual debt. He talks about spiritual debt into this book right here. We are restricted from being fully free in the Messiah so that we constantly live with frustration, worry, anger, or feelings of hopelessness. Overcoming familiar spirits by pastor and teacher Dr. Kynan Bridges powerfully exposes Satan's demonic agenda so that you can be set free. How many of you all want to be set free today? Spiritually set free. You will learn to detect the presence of familiar spirits such as the spirit of sabotage, calamity, rejection, jealousy, fear, infirmity, oppression, premature death, prevention, perversion, and more. You will gain a fresh revelation of who you are in the Messiah and your authority as a believer, and you will be equipped with the tools to enjoy lasting freedom. So, I want to go over just a few of the things that's mentioned in this book. Very profound, very powerful things that's inside of here. And so, when you're talking about familiar spirits, it tells you what a familiar spirit is. It talks about the unclean spirit, the spirits of disguise, the rulers of darkness. This book goes into territorial spirits. For those of us that read Ephesians chapter 6, it says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers, against the rules of darkness in this world, principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. All right, it talks about the territorial spirits. And so on YouTube years ago, I heard of a man named Roger Morneau. He was a noted Luciferian, and he said in the demonic realm, he was able to see that these spirits, they will actually have territories, they will have jurisdictions. And so a lot of times individuals that move from a city to a state, or to a whole nother state or to a whole nother country, they may feel as if that spirit as going across the country or going across the world to follow them. And according to Roger Morneau, a demonic person that's in the demonic realm that was in there, he said that these spirits are over territories. And what will happen is once they know if a person is going to move to a certain area, they will contact those other demonic spirits over in charge of that area. And then those spirits that are like the spirit that they were in connection with in that one area will be there to meet them. And so we see kind of it can kind of take you back to the book of Daniel, in Daniel chapter 10, where he prayed a prayer to the Most High, and he said the prince of Persia withstood the messenger, I believe it was Gabriel, that was coming to make known the vision unto Daniel. And he said, from the very first day you set your heart to understand, your prayer was heard, but the prince of Persia withstood me 21 days. These were principalities fighting in high places. All right, so it talks about territorial spirits. It talks about spiritual debt. It talks about demonic liens. How many of us are dealing with spiritual debt right now? How many of us have demonic liens right now? Unpaid debts that we need to get, rid of by denouncing, renouncing spirits. Demonic access points. It talks about that, how there are access points to where the spirits can watch you and they can know where to come through at. Spiritual jurisdiction. It kind of goes back to what I was talking about. The door of sin. It talks about demonic portals, emotions and thoughts, negative thoughts that lead to spirits, generational curses. It talks about soul wounds. All right. And there are many of us out there that have been wounded. There are many of us that's been offended by individuals, and he's even been able to share how that has been the cause of demonic spirits taking over individuals. Spiritual abuse. There's abuse that a nice amount of us have had to deal with, and then that's been a access point to where demonic spirits has been able to come and wreak havoc in our lives. Also, it talks about casting out demons. This is a real thing. I know some people that do not believe in the abstract. They don't believe that demons are real. They don't believe this is a real thing because they only believe in the things that they can touch and feel. All right. But these things that are unseen, they don't believe in the abstract. Where it talks about it in here. And this man, to my knowledge, he was into that. I believe he had very in-depth knowledge of that demonic realm world, his background. The power of permission, what we what we permit to come into our lives. What kind of spirits do we permit? He talks about the power of permission, the prayers of release, breaking ungodly soul ties. So we got soul ties and we got soul bondage. All right. Another person that brought a book on soul bondage, Gerald Hosea Williams, he talked about that in his book about the soul bondage. This talking about soul ties, monitoring spirits. All right. Have you ever felt like someone was constantly eyeing you? Somebody was constantly watching you. Even individuals that have blocked you on social media, unfriended you, but they still watching what you're doing. Individuals that don't care nothing about you, but they know everything about you. All right. I'm not going to spill everything. I want you to check it out. In this book about the monitoring spirits, he said he gave an example of someone in a whole other country. All right. Zooming in on this area and talking about that they got some discernment, but really it was a monitoring spirits, according to him. Spirits of prevention, spirits of sabotage. He talks about renouncing evil covenants. It's all in this book right here. Renouncing evil covenants. Some of us have family members that are attached, are associated with dark groups, secret groups. All right, that stuff has been passed down to you. Don't know what to do. Bitter roots of judgment and inner vows. These are things that you want to talk about. The power of the blood of the Messiah, the mind, which is our spiritual battleground. This is where the battle takes place a lot of times, right here. Sometimes they say it's not the enemy, it's the inner me that we have to deal with every single day. The battleground. Discerning of spirits, and it also deals with the marine spirits. A lot of us don't understand that there is a different kingdom out there that's under the earth, under the waters, that we don't know little very that much about at all. And it's the marine kingdom. So you have marine spirits out there that they can manifest themselves in different ways. And this book goes in on that. Listen, I don't get paid a dime to advertise this book. Y'all know me. I normally advertise my own books. But now I'm going to be on here promoting other people's books, giving breakdowns on my thoughts on how I feel about it. And the journey starts with this book right here, Overcoming Familiar Spirits. Please, if you're a person that is trying to grow on your spiritual knowledge, you're trying to grow in your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, make sure you get you a copy of this book right here. It will serve you in a tremendous way. All right. So I pray that the Most High could continue to be with each and every single one of you until the next time we see each other again.